machine learning, and deep learning by Aegis School of Data Science in association with IBM. This intensive hands-on program develops the necessary and unique set of skills for launching your successful career in the fastest-growing fields of AI. The program curriculum covers in depth artificial intelligence, Python, machine learning, natural language processing, cognitive computing, deep learning, Google TensorFlow, speech recognition, computer vision, and robotics. The program offers a wide range of electives, exposure to a wide range of technologies, tools, and software, work on live projects, program delivered by the best AI and data science faculties and IBM experts. After successful completion of the course, participants get postgraduate program or PGP certification from IBM. Different program modes: full-time, PGP and Applied AI, weekend executive PGP and Applied AI, and weekend online PGP and Applied AI, world-class cloud learning management platform and mobile app. Our students work with top firms and startups. Explore today how Aegis can help you launch your career in AI.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome you on Monday evening at the live event on application and data science and AI in healthcare industry. So, how this data science and artificial intelligence is helping in the healthcare industry, we'll be knowing at this event. So, I welcome Ms. Nida Parker, the professor at Aegis, would be giving the lights on it. Ms. Nida?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to you, sir?
It's loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello?
Nida, we can hear you. You can start off. Yes, very much.
All right. A very warm good evening to all of you. Welcome on the session on AI in healthcare. Okay, how can we apply artificial intelligence and data science in the field of healthcare? Let me just quickly start with the PPTs. Let me know if they are visible. Are the PPTs visible?
Yes, we can see that. Yes.
All right. So let's begin with. So I would like to begin with a quote of Andrew N. Saying that artificial intelligence is a new electricity. Very well said. And this has definitely deemed curiosity amongst many that why is artificial intelligence taking up so much in the recent times? There is no field that is left untouched by artificial intelligence, and that this will be definitely seen more in the coming years. So, what exactly is artificial intelligence and what are the applications of artificial intelligence? Why don't we hear it from a AI system itself? So all of you are aware of Alexa, the cloud-based AI. So why don't we hear it from Alexa itself? What exactly is artificial intelligence? Alexa, can you hear me, Alexa?
Yes, I can hear you.
Alexa, how are you doing today? Alexa, how are you?
I'm quite fine. Thanks for asking.
Alexa, can you tell me what's the weather today in Mumbai? Alexa, can you tell me the weather today in Mumbai?
In Mumbai, Maharashtra, it's 27 degrees Celsius with rain. Tonight, you can expect showers with a low of 27 degrees.
Is the Alexa audible to you all?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Alexa, can you tell me something about yourself? Alexa, can you tell me something about yourself?
Hey there, glad you stopped by. I'm your virtual assistant, your cloud-based AI. I can help you with
Thank you. Well, that was Alexa for you. It is definitely a great application of artificial intelligence, wherein it takes in. If you saw it was just interacting with a human. The questions that I was asking to Alexa, it was able to answer me correctly. I would go on with the list of asking few more questions, but we rather see some other applications of AI. So what exactly happens when we talk to Alexa? So it takes in the input as a voice. Okay, the computer understands only the language of zeros and ones, so that is what it is converted to in the language of zeros and one. A pre-processing, the voice synthesis is converted to the data, and information is gained out of it, and what we receive as the output is again a voice of, whatever question we have asked to it, we get the output of the question. The answer is relevant to the question and not something that is not being asked. So, where do we use AI? We use it every day in our day-to-day life. Starting, all of us use Google, I'm sure, each and every day. So, Google is an application of machine learning. So, what exactly happens when you search something on Google? Google remembers what you're searching for. It remembers the pages that you've visited, the page that you have spent more time on, the page that you're spending less time on, and this machine is what runs behind is nothing but your machine learning algorithms, wherein if you type something over here, okay, if you type something looking for pictures of cat, so it is going to convert that textual data into the image, and this everything happens back end using a machine learning algorithms. Google has got some powerful machine learning algorithms running for you, and some great cloud based everything connected together, so that it is able to handle many people at the same time. So Google is definitely an excellent example of machine learning algorithm and how we use machine learning in our day-to-day life. All of us are aware of Amazon, so we all do a lot of shopping from Amazon. Let's see how Amazon uses AI. Is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, we can see that, Nida, very much.
Okay, just wanted to check with the sound. Yeah.
What it earned in 2007,
Is the sound visible?
Yes, yes. We can hear that.
Audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
the
it's
sound-
audible.
by the way, only 3 short years earlier. Not bad for a company which only started trading in 1994. Amazon has built its empire on a platform of sheer unbeatable convenience for the end user. You, the customer, need a product. So you open the app or have a quiet word with Alexa, and next day, hey presto, it's sitting on your doorstep. Moving products from A to B quickly is not easy. Compared with other modern technology giants which barely need to exist in the real world, think of Netflix, Google or Facebook, Amazon needs to shift an astonishingly vast amount of sheer bulk safely, precisely and quickly, all day, every day. So how does it do it? Last year, a senior Amazon executive described Amazon's warehouses, rather poetically, as a symphony of humans and machines working together. How does this symphony actually work? Let's take it from the top. Before you've even logged onto its website, Amazon has a fairly good idea of what you're going to buy. This is all down to the semi-occult 21st century abracadabra that is deep learning AI, which Amazon has been leveraging to incredible effect since around 2015. Put simply, an algorithm makes some assumptions about you based on your age, location, socioeconomic background, and purchase history. It will then, hours, days, or even weeks before you actually log on, ensure that your local warehouse is stocked with appropriate quantities of stock you're likely to consider buying. That the algorithm anticipates will be the hot new must-have come springtime. It might be the paperback novel for a soon-to-go viral TV adaptation. In January 2020, for instance, Amazon's algorithm correctly anticipated high incoming demands for face masks, and, well, we all know what happened there. So Amazon's smart warehouses, also known as fulfillment centers, not to be confused with their post office style sortation centers, very often know what you want even before you do. Or at least
So not only Amazon knows what you're going to order, it keeps a track of what the objects that you're looking for, the kind of materials that you're looking for on the Amazon website. It keeps a track on everything, and not only it knows what you're going to order, but it also gives you recommendation. If you remember, if something is added in the cart, based on your past history, it will also recommend you few things that you would want to buy. Now, not only Amazon uses deep learning, artificial intelligence in knowing what the customer wants it, they also use it for something that I would like to show you. Yeah, there it goes.
Amazon's enlistment of this whirring battalion began in 2012, when the company purchased
So yes, get back to the quiz. So not only it uses the the deep learning models, the artificial intelligence on what the user wants, but it also has amazing robots which takes uh, transfers all the packages from one place to another. Entire warehouses are filled with those robots who are designed to follow a specific path, and then they will carry the data all over within their warehouses. Now, this was about the big giant Amazon, which everybody is aware of. Let's understand how Facebook uses data science. All of us use Facebook in our day-to-day life. There are a lot of things that going behind the Facebook, and it uses data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning models to identify the clients and what is good for them, what it can suggest to them. So let's start with a very small thing of Facebook. If you know, Facebook gives you a beautiful video of your friends and you in the form of a friend anniversary. So how does this happen? So Facebook, it collects your most liked photographs or your photographs tagged with your friends and the most commented posts. So it collects everything together and presents it to you in the form of a video or a friend's anniversary. Not only that, Facebook uses facial recognition algorithms to that gives you the ability to tag your friend. Now, tagging is something that is very popular, be it Facebook or any other apps. So that is being very much appreciated, and it makes your Facebook feed go very amazing by when you're able to tag a lot of people. And then next thing, most of the data on the Facebook is in the form of your textual data. So Facebook uses an algorithm called as deep test to analyze the data, what you're writing down. It helps itself to learn what the data is coming from different users. It accumulates it, it studies it, and presents it in the form of friend anniversary or your best moments from Facebook, your most liked photograph or your most commented post. So it aggregates it together and presents it to you. Very interesting application in which Facebook uses data sciences to target its audience. Now, how does it do that? So if you search something on the Google that you've never searched before and you log into Facebook, it will definitely allow you to it will definitely present to you few of the things that you've searched on your Google. It will give you the advertisement related to that. So I want you to try out this activity. Search for something that you've never searched on Google before and then log into Facebook. I'm sure, if you look for a course in data science, advertisements will start coming on Facebook looking, these are the best courses of data science. You should try this university. So definitely it uses it for that reason as well. So not only Facebook, we have a lot of other applications of machine learning. As I spoke about the Google search engine, what makes it more useful because of the complex, powerful algorithm that it has running in the background that helps people to search and get whatever they are looking for instantly. Our email systems that we use, they do an excellent job of sorting our emails as good emails and bad emails, or rather we call it as spam and non-spam emails. So what they do, based on the content that is there in the email, they categorize your email. If the algorithms find it's a bit fishy or not good or something not relevant to you, it will put it under the category of spam. Otherwise, it will let you in the inbox. So few emails that it finds it to be very good and useful to you or coming, it will put it in your inbox. Otherwise, it will put it in your spam folder. Digital assistant, we just spoke to Alexa asking many questions. It has the ability to interact with the human. Not only Alexa, we have digital assistants on our mobile. The Android mobile, the Siri is there, so it helps you everything. It takes it as a voice command. If you tell switch on the map for me, it is going to do it for you. If you say call some so and so person, it is going to put a call to that person. So again, we've also seen Amazon, a big giant, and not only Amazon, any other websites that sell products. They allow you to recommend you to many products, and based on what you have purchased and based on what you have looked at, spent more time at. So again, Netflix recommendation. Netflix is again a great entertainment source in today. Now no, nobody everybody is busy with Netflix. So why Netflix is a video on demand. The entire background, or you can say the underlying background of Netflix is based on Python, machine learning, deep learning, all these AI models it uses. And that's the reason it is able to uh, deliver so many customers at the same time. Video on demand. Your Netflix videos never gets hanged, because even though it is having millions and billions of users using it at the same time, it provides an excellent services to all the users. Robot vacuum again is not new. It uses artificial intelligence to detect the obstacles. So it helps you to, if you just leave a robot on in your house, if you place a chair, stool, anything in between, it is going to detect that obstacle. It is going to stop there. It is going to turn right, left. So another important aspect of AI, the algorithms that run within it, it is able to detect the object, and it is able to move itself away from the object in some other direction. Self-driven cars, everybody is aware of Tesla, the self-driven car. That is, we all these are based on your machine learning algorithms. Next is healthcare. How can machine learning and deep learning algorithms be very useful in your healthcare? Imagine all your information and data, all your history is available to you on one click. You just click and everything, AI system comes up and tells, this is all the history of the patient. Because now, whenever you want to get admitted to a hospital, you will go inside, people will ask you about all your previous history. So it's a, some person with massive medical history will have to carry out of the files. So, I don't see a day far away wherein all the information about a person, about all the medical history in the previous, would be available on one click. Now, not only here, we use a lot of sensors. We use a lot of smartwatches now, which have sensors in them, which which collects all of your data, like your heartbeat, your heart rate. It also gives you a summary at the end of the week or at the end of the month. You get a summary saying that this week you've had these many calories burnt, or these are the steps that you have done. So definitely, AI, ML, healthcare, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning algorithms will be definitely picking up more in the healthcare domain. Now let's understand what exactly is AI. So we can define AI in two terms. One is intelligence from computation against models of the world. That means you can simulate things in your head and identify what could be the consequences. Something is given to you, a scenario is given to you, and you can compute it by yourself. What could be the consequences of it, and then accordingly take the next step. Another way of defining it is intelligence from internalizing patterns in the data. And this is what is booming now. Every industry, if a company is having a lot of data within itself, if a company is having a 5 years data, so it is going to analyze the data. What have been my sales pattern? Which month has given us the high productivity? what are the factors that are going to depend on our productivity and our sales. So every you can say every factory or every domain wants to integrate AI within themselves so that they can analyze the pattern and definitely look for the better future. You know, what could be the target sales in the next coming month or in the next quarter. So AI is definitely picking up in lot of domains. If I ask you, what is this picture of? It will be very easy for you to understand that this is a picture of a mug, okay? But this is what, it doesn't appear like this to the computer. So for a computer, it appears like this in the form of pixels, or you can say in the form of numbers. Now, understanding the image, like giving the image as an input and computer analyzing it using the traditional algorithms or traditional programming was a bit difficult task. So in the year you can say 20 in the year 2012, so it came up, it was discovered that these things can be new big neural networks can be trained to identify the patterns from the images, and that is how the deep learning started booming since then. Again, if I ask you what's this picture of, you will be able to identify it very well, because over the years your brain has been trained to identify this object as a bicycle. So when you look at the object, it knows the one thing that you look at is the features. That means it has got two tires, it has got the handle, it has got a pedal. So that is what you look at and identify, oh, it's a bicycle. But what happens when you give it to the artificial neural network or a model, when this image is given as the input, it goes through a process something like this. Each pixel that you see over here, image is converted into each pixel, that you can say a pixel of numbers ranging, the RGB range from 0 to 255, and then it is getting converted. Now, this artificial neural network came into picture, or rather you can say it is based on the neural network of the brain. Our brain has millions and millions of neurons. When you touch a cold object over your body, it reacts very quickly. It doesn't take like 5 to 10 minutes to react. It reacts very quickly within seconds. That's because the signal is sent by your the signal is sent by the neuron, and then it acts very quickly, that some object has touched and that object is very cold. So the same principle is applied on when an image is given to the computer using the deep learning model. So each of the pixel is nothing like a neuron, and many of the neurons are connected to each other. What happens over here is running the model, or you can say identifying the pattern in the data, and then it gives you the classification whether it's a bicycle or a truck or a bus or a car. So this is how the deep learning models work on the principle of your artificial neural network. Now let's understand it in more detail. So what exactly happens when you run a deep learning model? So these are the images that are given to you. Suppose you give the images of the truck, car, motorcycle, cycle. So when you give this to the model takes it. Now when you're giving the images, you're giving it separately, You give the folder of images with cars, with trucks, with motorbike, and then the model learns the pattern. How does a car look like? How does a truck look like? How does a cycle look like? It is going to learn the feature of each and every image that you have given over here. And then now again, when you're making the model learn, it is not just making the model learn. It is basically consists of two parts. One is training the model and testing the model. The first part that you'll be doing is you'll input all the images and you'll make the model learn, and then the model is going to give you some output. Now this was just the training phase where you have given the model, these are the images of the car, these are the images of the bus, these are the images of the truck. Next phase, will keep some set of data that is that you'll use for testing. Okay, now training and testing have to go together, because if you just train the model to understand the features and not test it on the real data, that model is of absolutely no use. So again, you keep certain set of images that are not there given during your training phase, and then the model understands those images, and then it gives you the proper output, whether that image is of a cycle, truck, bus, or anything. Now, once this entire thing is done, what you'll do is you'll give a new image to your system, which is a totally unseen image for the model. And then the real test is giving this unseen image to the model and then seeing what is the accuracy, what is the prediction it is doing, if it is predicting it to be a car or a bicycle or a truck. A few more applications of deep learning models that are used are nothing but, suppose you're having a lung inflammation or a chest x-ray scan and you want to check if there is any inflammation uh, to detection for COVID. So when the radiologists, when the doctors look for the HRCT of the COVID patients, they look for a certain pattern, that is the green, that's glass, that's called as the glass opacity. They are looking for the pattern. So this is exactly what happens when you give the image as the input. The model looks for certain pattern. If that pattern is matched, it will tell that the lung is inflamed, and then that the person can be tested whether the person is COVID positive or not. Another application is lung cancer detection. Now, lung cancer detection, cancer is such a thing that the earlier you detect it, the better it is. So, lung cancer detection, giving feeding a lot of images into the model and detecting the lung cancer at an earlier age can actually help the patient to get up the medication faster. The doctors can start the preparation and the medication quick faster as soon as the results are got. Now, Google Brain is a subpart of Google, which basically deals with the artificial intelligence and the complex deep learning models. Okay, so it has been working a lot on artificial intelligence and then the deep learning models. So here it claims that even the images which are given of very low quality, if you give images of very low quality, and that can be converted using these deep learning models to a very good or a very high quality so that the output can be detected from those images. Deep mimic is a part of deep learning which is used in the animation and movies, wherein all the animation part is done. Image outfeeding is a very interesting application. Suppose you give a half image to the model, the model will be able to portray or give you the other half of the image that you have given. Not only that, the application has reached to an extent that suppose if you give a image as the input, then you can get a caption as the output. So it is very well used. Image, it is called as your image captioning. Suppose you give this image to the model, it is going to say that the girl in the pink dress is jumping in the air. Likewise, you give any image and it is going to caption you. Other applications of the machine learning, deep learning models are, Google Translator. Now, this case study that I'm talking, wherein you're giving the image as the input and you're getting the text as the output. Google Translator is an excellent application wherein you give the text as the input and you get the text as the input. It allows you to convert one language to another language. So you just have to choose the language and you have to enter the data or enter a sentence, and it is going to give you the sentence in another language that you have selected. So we as humans are able to do a lot of things like communicate, use information in a proper manner, identifying the patterns of the data, remember what people have said. If any situation you have been in before and the same situation comes up, you will be able to adapt to the new situations. So that is what artificial intelligence is doing. So artificial intelligence is nothing but it is basically developing a computer or making the computer learn or accomplish tasks that require the human intelligence. Okay. Now, why is artificial intelligence booming up so much? Because it can do a lot of things, like it can interact with the human using the natural language processing, wherein it works on the textual data or the speech data, and it's going to give you the appropriate output. So it gives you the more accurate results. It is going the very important thing about artificial intelligence, why it is booming, is because it learns from it does repetitive learning. It learns from the mistakes and it provides repetitive learning. So to look at the overall idea, what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what is deep learning? So you can say that, you can sum it up as artificial intelligence is nothing but the ability of a machine to imitate a human behavior. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. And deep learning is again a special type of machine learning which is used for more complex data. Now, why is it suddenly booming? Why are the deep learning models booming so much? Because today we are dealing with a lot of data. And when I'm talking about data, it's not just thousands, millions, and billions of data. The data has reached to an extent of, sextillion, septillion, and I'm sure people are definitely working on, what would be the next term for the data that we are going to deal with. So when we have a lot of data, the traditional machine learning or the old algorithms don't work very well, and that is where the complex and deep learning algorithms have come into picture. Now, can your AI assist virtually impaired to run? I mean, imagine, AI, artificial intelligence is helping a blind person to run without any person running with him, or without, mostly blind people, they have a dog carrying it along with them, or, some people helping of them to run. So let's see how this can be done, or is it actually done using AI? I would like to share a small video in regard to that.
It's not obvious to us how to do it, but we came up with this basic prototype.
So what we came up with was a system that just uses a regular Android phone. The machine learning algorithm that we have detects the line and can tell whether the line is to the runner's left, right, or center. We can then send signals to the runner that guides them left and right based on their positioning.
The first time we went out, we didn't even know if sound would be enough to guide me. So it's sort of that beta testing process that you go through.
From human eyes, it's very obvious. It's very obvious to recognize the line. Teaching a machine learning model to do that is not that easy.
You step left and right as you're running, so there's like a shake to the line, left and right. As soon as you start going outdoors, now the light is a lot more variable.
Tree shadows, falling leaves, and also the line on the ground can be very narrow, and there may be only a few pixels for the computer vision model to recognize.
We didn't want to rely on any internet connection. We had to take our huge model and shrink them into something that we can run on device as fast as we need for someone to run at full speed with. Well, we've been waiting for 25 years for this minute. People with vision don't want blind people to take risks. That's what keeps people who are blind from participating in society fully. The safest thing for a blind person to do is to sit still. I ain't sitting still. There was no tether. There was no stick. There was no furry dog. It was just being with yourself. Absolute freedom.
So that is what you saw, the application of AI to help a blind person run. Now, imagine a blind person running without any person's help, or any other assistant to that person, and running. Imagine the freedom that person would have got. If AI can do help a blind person run, it can definitely help many other fields of people. Imagine it can help a paralyzed person to get up and walk without any person's help, or just the AI system or robotics coming in together and helping a paralyzed person to walk. So let's continue. Now, why is there a need of AI and ML in the field of healthcare? Now, we all have been going through COVID pandemic, and it is come to us that we need more and more people in the field of medicine, and the COVID pandemic has definitely punctuated this fact that more people are needed in the field of medicine. Apart from this, there is a complete burnout in the medical staff because they have been working day in, day out, be the doctors, nurses, radiologists, or any other people dealing in the field of medicine. Now, AI can get faster results when used along with the doctors' assistants, or people in the medical healthcare. So all of us have been through some of the X-ray scans before. When I asked you how many of you have been through an X-ray, or a mammography test or a CT, most of you would have gone through it. So again, when as you all know that the pattern that the doctors look for a COVID patient is certain green glass opacity in a patient's the pattern that they look for, okay, glass opacity. So if that pattern is found, it tells that the lung is inflamed. Not only for the test X-ray, it can be used for PET scans or mammography, any other test that can be done. So imagine we are having a data of all these things, and then we are actually using this data and giving the images as the input, and you're getting faster results rather than waiting for many days for the results. So what exactly happens when we want to detect a lung inflammation? Suppose we are giving a chest X-ray image, okay? Imagine this is the deep learning or the machine learning algorithm that you're using, and it's going to give you or classify the output. Now, the case study that I'm talking here right now is there is a image in the input, and there is a class in the output. Whether this image has got, whether this chest X-ray has got some infection or not. Okay, so that is what is seen. Now, this is so how exactly this happens. So as I told you before, image doesn't look like an image to the computer. It looks as a zeros and one. This is what the computer looks at as an image. Okay, it looks as in the form of zeros and ones, or numbers ranging from 0 to 255. That is for the colors of the image. So suppose you're having an image wherein you want to classify whether it's an image of one of the presidents of the US. Okay, so you're going to give this as the input, and the model is going to classify to you whether it is a Lincoln or a Washington or a Jefferson or a Obama. Now the probability, the whichever gets the higher probability, that means the model is basically classifying the image into that category. This is nothing but how a deep learning model works. You're giving the input as a chest X-ray. This is the black box that happens, and it gives you the output, whether it is a infectious image or a non-infection image, or that the image is or the X-ray is of a COVID positive patient or a COVID negative apple. Now, when I'm being talking that the model looks for the pattern in the data, so what exactly do I mean by this pattern? Imagine that this is the image that you're feeding into the model, and this is the pattern that you're giving, okay, that you're looking for. So what will happen? This pattern will scan the entire image bit by bit. So it is going to scan first these three pixels, then it is going to scan the next one, and like that, it is going to scan the entire image. And this output that you see over here is nothing but the pattern matching. If the pattern matches, the value is going to be high. If the pattern doesn't match, the value is going to be low. And this is how it happens when when you train the entire model, when you given the images, whether the of the chest X-ray, and that is how it is detected. Let me demonstrate this using this. Let me quickly demonstrate of what I was talking right now. So suppose we are having images that are will be giving to the computer. So these are certain training images. As I mentioned before, we are going to give some training images to the computer. So when we are giving images to the computer, we are going to label them. We are going to put them in the category that these are the images of the lung inflamed patients, and these are the images of the not inflamed patients. So like this, you'll give all the images to the model, saying that these are the images of the infected people, and these are the chest X-ray of the non-infected people. So your model is going to get trained on this. Now this is the first set of images that you're going to give to the model. The next thing you're going to give to the model is the test images. So once you've trained the model, you're going to test what you have given. So you're going to give these images again to check if the model is predicting them correctly or not. So the results, if you're giving images from this, that it is a lung inflamed image. So that is what you're going to compare the model's output and your actual output. So this is what is going to decide how accurate is your model. Now this entire things, of training the images, giving the training images and the test images comes under the train test. Now the real test comes when you give a completely new images. So these three images are not present in any of those folders that I showed you These are completely new images on which I'll be testing the model. So let me show you the model. So this is the deep learning model that is being run on the images. All the images are being given to the model, and this is the accuracy that it is showing, 97% accuracy. Now when I check the model on the completely new images, these are the three images, the model was able to show that, this is the image of COVID positive, the first, and these are the labels that I had mentioned in the deep learning model, and this is the image of the non-COVID patient. Now, if you check the folder that I showed you, these two images were of COVID and this was a normal image. So the model was able to predict the images given to the model with a good accuracy, stating whether the image that you had given was, inflamed or not inflamed, or the chest X-ray that was given was infected or not infected. Another interesting study was done at the Stanford. Now, got Stanford has got its another, it has got its uh, the area in which, they did a study wherein they tested the radiologist versus the AI. So they give some images to the radiologist, and they also gave the same images to the deep learning model, or the model that the complex model was algorithm that was called as the chest next model. So it was given to the model itself, and giving 400 images to the radiologist, they took around 3 to 4 hours to train the to give the results of those images. Can you guess how much time did the machine learning model take to detect those images? Anyone, any guesses on that? Yes. uh, is the voice audible to all of you? Yes, you can mention it in the chat. I will be. So the deep learning model, or the model that actually it just took 1 minute to scan those images. So imagine the images that were given, which took the radiologist 3 to 4 hours, or it took the model just a minute to give the results. Now this is the power of AI, or this is how accurate and fast the AI is. Now, how AI is going to transform the health professions? It can be used not only by radiologists for these scans, it can be used by pathologists to look at the slide, but by the dermatologist, you can have skin images to detect whether there is some kind of cancer or not. Or imagine if some person has got some lump on the body. Before going for the biopsy of that, if you just click a picture and feed it to the model, it is actually going to scan it to you and tell you whether a biopsy is needed or not needed. Likewise, many cardiologists, psychiatrists can also use these, AI models, deep learning models, and can definitely help in better predictions. So again, deep learning models are used for MRI and PET images. Why are they used? Suppose you're having an image that is not very clear. So using now deep learning models have got a lot of filters in them. Using these filters, you can actually get a better version of the image that was there, and it can definitely help the doctors extract meaningful insights and information from those images. They can be used by cardiologists. So there's this device which you can just connect it to a simple phone, and it can be used to help a simple pneumonia or chest congestion, and it can also be helped to see the chambers, heart chambers, whether they are appropriate size or not. And in this image, if you can see, it actually helps to see the blood flow, how good is the blood flow. So where can this be used? Imagine a population who doesn't have access to the big hospitals and the AI healthcare. These instruments, these machineries can be taken up to them, and a survey can be done looking at the malnutrition, or kids having specific diseases, skin diseases. All this can be done with the help of AI. Another well application of AI, especially in the COVID, can be detecting whether a person is wearing a face mask or not. So this comes under the category of object detection. So AI has certain you can say APIs that uses the object detection, wherein you can Basically, if an image, or this can be done in the live video proctoring also, whether a person is wearing a mask or not, it can be used in the supermarkets, it can be used in it can be used in like offices, whether people are coming, whether they are maintaining social distancing or not, or it can be definitely used in many of the public places. To sum it up, you can say that AI in healthcare can be used for a lot of reasons. We've already seen some examples of, how can be used in ultrasound, CT image. That is in that is in the part of imaging. AI can be used in imaging. AI can also be as a clinical assistant. So before you go to the doctor, when you go to the radiologist, he's doing a lot of work. He has to take the information from the patient, he has to talk to the doctor, he has to perform the scan, and then again give the report to the patient. So where can this be done? Where can AI help into this? Is basically AI can be helped. Your AI can help a radiologist to perform the scan, wherein the radiologist can perform the other task, and the scanning part can be taken by the AI, and then it's going to help the person get faster results and definitely reduce time. We can also use it to maintain a patient's e-record. So when you're going to some other doctor, you don't have to carry up all your files, or probably a virtual assistant is given by the doctor before you speak to the doctor. If it is only mandatory, the virtual assistant is going to look at your queries, what you give, and symptoms. If the virtual assistant feels those symptoms are severe enough so that you can be given, like a further appointment should be given to the doctor, it can definitely help in that. Of lately, medicine development, AI can be used to target some drug, COVID drug, what can be useful, what can be used. Not only COVID, any other drug testing can also, AI can also be beneficial in this part. Health management, definitely we are wearing a lot of smart devices, and it helps us to maintain or get analysis of how have our health been, or what has been our workout sessions like, or how many calories are burning. It can give you all the details and sum it up together and provide you a better health management. So you can say that data science is nothing but analyzing the data and getting meaningful insights from our data. So all the data that is being collected. I've been talking about millions, billions, septillions amount of data. With the Internet of Things coming, and everything becoming cloud based, we are having an access to a lot of data. And data science is nothing but getting a meaningful insight of data. So to sum up, what exactly is data science? When you have a domain expert, and when we have mathematics, it is nothing but you can call it as a statistical research. When you have a domain expert person and a computer science expert, that is where you can analyze the data, and we call it as data processing. And when we have now these machine learning models, and these deep learning models are complex models, and the base of these models is nothing but mathematics, or you can say statistics. So to run these models, to understand how the model run, there are two things that are necessary. One is your statistical knowledge, and second is your computer science knowledge. So computer science knowledge is basically your programming that is going to help you, okay? And the statistical knowledge will help you understand how exactly these machine learning, deep learning models work. And the entire thing together, that is statistical research, data processing, machine learning work, uh, uh, working on the machine learning model, this entire thing is nothing but data science. It is up, summing up together and getting meaningful insights from the data. So I would like to end saying that the day healthcare can fully embrace AI is the day we have a revolution in the terms of cutting costs. Not only cutting costs, but definitely improving care, and a world that has never seen before. We saw it in the example of a blind person able to run, or paralytic patient being able to walk with the help of the AI tool. So definitely it can change the face of medicine, and it has been. So that's it from my side for today evening. Thank you everyone for being so good and patient listeners.
Thank you, Ms. Nuna. Thank you for the wonderful session that we have given the insights on the healthcare industry, and how this data science and artificial intelligence is used in this field. Thank you so much. And I also thank the RV College of Engineering, Bangalore for supporting this event. Dr. Ranganath, thank you so much for supporting this event. Thank you. And have a great evening. Thank you so much.